Hello class and welcome back to another episode of Siege 101, the series where Nol Zero and I take a look at things in Siege, break them down, and give you guys our tips and advice on how to become a better Siege player. Our topic this week is going to be the Peeker's Advantage. What the heck is it? How do you use it to your benefit? And whether or not we think it should be in the game. So let's go ahead and jump right in. What up, Zero? How you doing?
Doing all right, man. How are you?
Not too bad, bro. Let's talk a bit about the Peeker's Advantage. The Peeker's Advantage is something that we weren't necessarily aware of from the inception of the game. Playing beta and then obviously through the launch up till maybe I'd say about a month and a half ago or so, it started to make its round. And basically what the Peeker's Advantage is that if you are ADSing on a point and you're holding a defensive point, I can come from the offensive side and peek a corner or peek a wall, an angle that you don't see me, and expose myself and shoot you before you have the chance to react and even maybe see me on your screen. So it'll seem like it's just an instantaneous headshot from Ghost Figure A, or you get a very brief glimpse of the person before you're actually dead. Do you use that? Do you use the Peeker's Advantage?
I use it sometimes. I have some issues with the controls that they're working on as far as their patch notes, but it's definitely very useful and it's very beneficial. I mean, some of it is also the fact that when you're doing the peeking, you know when you're coming around the corner as opposed to the guy that's holding that line of sight.
Right.
So naturally, you're going to have an advantage because you know when you're going to peek, you know when you're going to, see the guy, and you know when to shoot. Like, he has to basically guess and get, and react the moment he sees, basically like your pixel showing up, even the very border of your character. So I use it sometimes. I haven't done real well of implementing to my gameplay, but I'm normally a roamer. So a lot of times I catch people off guard and don't really need that kind of thing. Right.
Well, one person that it is good for would be somebody like Too Loud, who is a droner, right? He's on his drone for a long time, so he has the luxury of being able to say, okay, guy is behind shield in the back left of the room. And if you have that drone position that you can check that again right before breach, you now have the Peeker's Advantage set up because you know at what about height you need to be aiming at and what angle you need to peek at to go ahead and secure that kill. And when we're talking about peek, it's important to note that like the peek is just that. It's a peek. It's where you expose yourself for a brief second, take a shot, and then you're back in cover. If you don't make contact, you reset. You reset in your cover, and you don't just stay there because now it's not a Peeker's Advantage. You're actually on his screen, and you're very susceptible to die. A lot of people will try the Peeker's Advantage, and they stay out too long for their peek.
Well, I see a lot of people peek and then try to aim. The thing to get across here is the peek is you line up and aim where you believe they will be.
Right.
Typically in the headshot area, if you have a character standing straight up, where you believe the head will be. Normally standing up situation.
Mm-hmm.
When you peek and fire there, not anything else. You're not using the right analog stick doing this method.
Right. It's also something that has been around, I guess, with a little different a name attached to it, would be pre-firing. You know what I mean? This is the original pre-fire. When you say pre-fire, that's usually where you pie a corner and you're already shooting before your body is exposed. Because again, you're going to have a good idea of where the enemy is, and you're going to go ahead and take out any possibility of him being able to react first because you're already shooting. So in Siege's terms, you might be hitting a couple door frames as you're doing the Peeker's Advantage because you might slide out and might not time your bullet just right. So you might be hitting the door on your way back from the peek and or on your way out to peek. But that's something that you could be practicing in order to get yourself a better advantage. Now, Zero, do you agree with this Peeker's Advantage? Should it be in the game?
I don't really know how you change it. I mean, I guess in LAN situations you can change it because there's no like lag or latency between when you peak. Because that's the thing, is like, even if it's a mean 0.1 of a second, that's an advantage, right? And on land, that's wiped away, because the moment I peak, you're going to see me on a land situation.
Right.
I just don't know how you fix it when it comes to networking. It seems like it would be impossible to fix it.
Right. Well, I think the overall point here to make about peaking, or the peaker's advantage, is that I don't think you should use it as a crutch, because if you are a person that's interested in competitive play in Rainbow Six, you're gonna end up in a land situation where it's non-existent. And you actually saw some of that from the ESL tournaments, where people who were used to using that advantage didn't have it on land. So it's important.
Got their head knocked off.
Yeah, got their head knocked off. So it's important that you still practice good tactics, holding lanes, holding line of sight, and all that stuff. But do understand that if you're in a 1-on-3 situation, you're trying to clutch, or you need to switch up your approach because it's round 7 of 9, it's a useful tool for you to have in your tool bag to make you a better Siege player. But that's going to do it for this episode of Siege 101. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, leave us a like and leave us a comment letting us know if you use the Peaker's Advantage. This series is a product of AimAssistGaming.com. You can go there and check out all of our links for other shows and podcasts that we do. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Hambone, he's No Zero, and we'll see you when we see you.